Welcome back to Plunderer Anime Review, episode number 6. This one is discussing episodes 14 to 16. Now, the first episode 14 does introduce the past version of Nana, where you have where Iron Jail, where Jail basically learns about the whole thing with the ballot stuff, and then runs into Nana, and basically hides out in her room for a while, and he's there for like 7 minutes and 15 seconds. And he walks off, and then as he leaves, he runs into Captain Allen, who gets a brief fight with him, and of course tries to take him. And then of course he gets away, but he allows to get away because he basically reveals his position. So he reveals he's actually because Captain Allen thinks he's a spy. He reveals nope, he's not a spy. He's a first lieutenant with the Austrian army, and he's the adopted son of the Supreme Commander. So basically, he stops and kind of explains. So it appears as though Captain is actually on their side. So it's implied that he does know possibly that basically Jail, Hina, Liname, and Pet are basically from the future. It's implied he does, but not really going into it at all. After that, basically, he does do a bit of sparring with him. They know he was running around with a big backpacks in the back. Of course, the army doesn't kill. Of course. And then we have episode 15, the titular beach episode, because of course we gotta have one of these. Either it's an based on a light novel or one based upon a manga. We gotta have beach episode. Yep, see all the girls in beautiful bikinis. Yep. Oh, and by the way, does Lick do his perverted things by basically touching the girl's breast and look up like, does he touch them? Oh yes, he does. This is still perverted. And of course, they do this thing of capture the flag. Of course, they're armed with weapons which they don't kill, which they don't harm me, which is basically chasing their exhaust and just take their flag anyways. Versus basically between class A and class B, and then it's basically them versus C, which has the bully there, and of course it takes a bit of a while, but they do beat him. And then the end of the episode ends with basically where everything's on hunky doors, like everything's gonna be nice. Well, we also have it where Licht is brought into surgery. He's in surgery for a while, and of course, he's going to be perfectly fine. And then, not long after that, and then we see a group of attack helicopters. What the heck is going on here? Well, that's revealed in the very next episode. The Waste War has begun. Yes, the Waste War, which in this series, basically, it was revealed they pretty much decimate the population of the planet just because of limited resources. Yep, that is pretty much the reason why they had to kill off half the population because of the limited resources. Now, why in the world limited resources? They don't go into that, neither in the manga nor the book, and basically the Waste War killed a lot of people. I would say probably about 50 to 60% of the population. They don't go into too much detail per se, but the way they describe the last war that was mentioned prior to the Waste War, it's kind of like the series version of World War III, which was described in Star Trek as a war that destroyed most of the major cities and very few governments. So here it's kind of very similar to that, except that basically the thing they mentioned at the start of this arc, apparently behind their back, this was like they were told the war was going to start in March. They moved up to December, and of course they attacked the school and many of the students are killed. Class 1A I think a couple of them get injured. One gets severely wounded. Of course, Hina stays behind to basically treat her. And of course, he's turning the power back on because, Licht is in surgery, doing his little transformation to the way he becomes. And his hair turns white, just like it does in the future. So that kind of explains that. So they had to go out there, and of course, where Alan himself is pretty much killed here via a bazooka to the face. Yes, a freaking bazooka. And he's like, huh. He survives for about a couple minutes, and he just tries to lit a cigarette, and he just dies. Right there. And by the way, where's the major all this? Don't know. It's kind of strange, though. He says, we can't do human testing. And apparently the lieutenant that's there, the smoking hot one, the one's voiced by Jad Saxton, by the way. Yes, she says, she just decides to do surgery anyways. On Lick because he's the best candidate. Yeah, she does argue with him about it, and of course he does. It seems like he approves just him because he's the best candidate because he qualifies with his DNA. So we leave off there with a cliffhanger at the end of episode 16. still great episodes, and I'm still enjoying this series. As of right now, I am only 8 episodes left to go for the whole series. Now, in the next review, we'll finish up this arc. It will basically be the final episode and start off the final arc of the series, the third arc, an arc that was not finished adapting for some stupid reason. I'll get into that, well, when I get to the last review, and I will still also explain what the heck the Abyss is. Yes. So, that's particularly it for Particular Review. Next up is the Comic Corner, and it's on to Harriman, the Labyrinth, and the World. Okay, next video. Bye.